First off, as a guy, you need to be a bit more direct to show your confidence. Girls like guys who don't beat around the bush. It's boring and it leads to nowhere exciting. Try to be a little bit more direct. Take a step back a little. Be direct, but not so creepy. Sometimes it can be easy like that. Asking her out is probably the easiest to do, but the tricky part is often what you do next out there. How to make it a smooth evening for both of you. Now you wanna create a chemistry with her, or at least the perception of it. You don't have to create a straight up chemistry right away, like swapping DNA with her, unless she wants it of course, and if you hit all the notes perfectly. But that's not most of us, is it? More often than not, we need to take it slowly. The first chemistry lesson I'm going to teach you is the perception of chemistry. You want to make her feel like you're her best friend or something. That means you need to get her talking. Now, there are usually two types of girls, the talkative ones and the shy ones. The talkative ones are probably easier to have a conversation with, but could be trouble if you're equally talkative. Like the two of you just can't wait for your turn to talk. In this case, the girl is always right. Make the girl talk and you just listen. Play the part of the quiet guy who makes her feel understood. The trick is to come up with good questions. What we generally don't like is to feel like being interrogated with a series of questions. I mean questions that only lead to dry answers like yes and no. We are not there for a job interview. Duh. Rather, ask open-ended questions that make her explain her whole situation. The hows and the whys are always good because not only it gets her to talk more about it, but it also creates the perception that you are interested in her. Everyone wants to feel like the most interesting person in the world. And when you just listen and nod your head every few seconds, it usually does the trick. Now you don't have to be genuinely interested in the makeup she wears, or the things she buys, or what her friends' boyfriends are like. Very often, there's something more important going on in your head, like football scores. Let's keep that aside for the time being. If nothing she says interests you, at the very least, pretend like you're interested in it, and never ever turn towards a topic that interests you more than her. Because guys, remember your mission, to bring the goods home. In order to do that, you need to create the perception of chemistry by only talking about things she's comfortable with, and letting her be the queen for the night. And funnily enough, what you don't find interesting the first time around might interest you later on. Like suddenly you wanna know that crazy friend of hers she keeps talking about, and you are looking for her Instagram page. That's just the power of the environment, I guess. When she finally stops and runs out of words, go back to enjoying your food and allow her to catch her breath a little. This is why a dinner is always good for a date. It's like an orchestra between talking and eating, and it's your job to find the right balance between the two. Then when she's ready for another round, keep it coming again with another how or why question. This will get her to talk some more. You see, there is not a better night out for a girl than when she has the whole stage for herself. Very likely, when she hangs out with her friends, she needs to compete for attention. Because these are girls we are talking about, right? That's just not ideal for her. But when she finally meets someone that listens to her and makes her feel special, dude, you're nailing it. Now, verbal chemistry is good, but it's only a foundation on which you build the whole dynasty. The next thing you want to do is to take it to the next level. You see, if you just keep going about the same thing every week for months, just talking and having a few bites, there is no end game in sight. You're getting too comfortable with her. You like talking to her, she likes talking to you back, you are funny to her. But so what? In spite of all this, she might not be physically attracted to you yet. As in, she might not see you as a potential mating partner with whom she wants to have babies. Basically, you still don't exist in her romantic eyes. She might look towards you as only someone fun to talk to, and this already makes you feel kinda special. But what you probably don't know is, there is some other guy who gets all the juicy action instead of you. And that's exactly when you need to step down on the gas. You don't want to be just the dude she calls when she gets her heart broken by some guy. You want to be the guy who breaks it. Not really, but at least being in that position puts you ahead of competition. The simple way to improve your chemistry is by physical touch. Don't just keep talking and talking, but enhance your game with a physical touch. Now, the danger with a touch is it's possible you'd come off as creepy. Like touching her when you're around her friends and they're like, "What?" Or hugging her when you're supposed to shake her hands. Or touch her in her sensitive areas that could get you sent to jail for sexual abuse. You don't want any part of your relationship with her to turn into a cringe situation. Do it very casually. Touch her in the least risky areas like the elbow or the shoulders if you're feeling more friendly. Or just a simple high five does the trick most of the time. Not only it gets you one touch in the back, you also do it in a moment of emotional high. Maybe you guys are in an arcade and just want a doll bear or something. Don't just look at her and say, "We did it!" Obviously you can do that, but a high five just creates that feel-good factor even more. It kinda sends signals to her brain that touching you would give her a feeling of pure joy. And a single touch can warm her up to the idea of you touching her more frequently. And the more she gets used to it, the more she will look forward to your physical action. It kinda lays the foundation of what's to come. Because ultimately, guys, the end goal is lots of touching.